Hey there, everybody. Bedrock Builder here. Wanted to show you my piglin trade farm setup I've been working on here in my creative world. I've been working on a mock-up that also connects with my iron farm, nether-based iron farm. So we can just go down to the portal down below and head over to the nether. I can show you what I've been working on over here. Oh, I got lots of cats loose now. Nice. So this is the setup I've been working on. I have a little workstation over here because these Piglin barter farms produce a ton of material, especially if you're using the aggro exploit. I'm not sure what to call it, but I'll show you in a second. But you get a ton of non-stackable items, including these enchanted soul speed iron boots, soul speed enchanted books. So you can use a grindstone to disenchant them, and then a blast furnace to smelt them down into iron nuggets. Get all the experience you can out of it, and keep a stash of books. You can even, if you wanted to go crazy and get everything out of this farm, even drink the potions and get the glass bottles out of it. And for now, these farms are actually dropping quite a few netherite hose. I'm not sure if that's going to last forever, but for now they are. And here on the bottom, these levers activate the garbage system. So as items build up and you want to keep using the farm without having it overflow, you get a lot of stuff that maybe you don't want or don't need. You can just flick the lever, and that will feed it down to this little disposal system down here. It feeds into some lava in a cauldron. Just so you can keep your farm working. If you want, you're really going for something like the obsidian, because it's really a great source of obsidian without having to do all the mining. But you don't want to have to deal with, say, 12 double chests of gravel. You can just leave this lever on while the farm's running and filter off your gravel, or whatever it is that you feel like filtering off. Over here we have the actual farm itself, so to speak. Just using 2 piglins with this clock here, which has the aggro sort of built in with the chest on it. This can be changed in the future if and when they get rid of this mechanic, because I can't see it lasting too long. This is really overpowered the way it is now. How fast they will trade. I'll just give you a quick little demo. Do I even have gold in there? I guess I do. I do have some gold in there. You can see they're just instant trading with that chest moving. So that produces quite a few items very fast. That's why I have this tower of hopper minecarts and hoppers, and this double chest is sort of a buffer. So everything has a place to go before it enters the filtration system, and it pulls it out of those top blocks as fast as possible. But even with all that stuff, it's still going to build up, and you don't want it to be sitting around for, 4 minutes, and then those items will just disappear. Let's see, that's the normal trade speed, about 8 seconds. Lights that let you know what's being fed, and if the system's still active or has items in the filter going. The blinking light lets you know which one is actually being fed, and when all these lights turn off, that means there's nothing left in the system, and you're safe to activate it again for a little while. But it does take a little, it does take some time to process all this material, like I said. So in the meantime, maybe you can disenchant your books and your boots and start smelting. And I gotta say, this is kind of a decent iron farm as well. You get quite a few of these iron nuggets. You can combined with the nuggets you get from the boots. It does add up over time. And then the books and the glass as well. So the amount of items that you can get out of this farm is a little overwhelming. And like I said, in the future, if this mechanic changes, what you can just do is add a bunch more piglins into the farm, into the pot itself, and maybe get rid of one of these repeaters so the dropper only fires once per cycle instead of twice, or add a slower clock to it. But there'll be ways around it. This setup will still be working. You just need to add more piglins or a slower clock. It's adjustable, but you'll still have a filtration system that works for all the items that you collect. Over here, I prepped a little area. This is going to be a 6x18 starting base. I have this 3 deep. For now, that would make the floor 1 block above this pit here. So if you want to make it flush with the ground around, you'd want to go 4 deep. Over here is where we're going to be putting our collection tower and farm itself. We're going to start with the double chests. That's going to be up 9 blocks high. So we're going to go 8 blocks to have a spot to put them. So 8 blocks up, let's go ahead and put in 2 double chests. Now we're going to put 4 hoppers pointing straight down into these chests. On top of these chests, on top of these droppers, now we have to put in the 4 powered rails for our hopper minecarts. I'm going to put some blocks off the side just so the minecarts don't go flying away once we get them in place. Put 2 blocks like that on each side. Now we can go ahead and put in our hopper minecarts. And now we're going to need to put hoppers pointing down into the tops of these hopper minecarts. And to do that, let's go ahead and put in some blocks here. Temporary blocks so we can put our hoppers in like this. All right, so those 4 hoppers should be pointing straight down into the hopper minecarts. And if you want to get these rails back down below, you just find that little tiny sliver of a hitbox, and you can get these 4 rails back. If you want them, if you really want those 4 rails. All right, now on top of this, we're going to do the same thing. 4 more rails, 4 more hopper minecarts. But we're going to have to lock these ones in with glass as well. Now we do need to break these 4 rails since we are locking them in with glass. So let's go ahead and take these out. Try not to hit the minecarts. All right, now we need to lock these in place with glass. So let's just come off the side with a temporary block there, then 1-2 pieces of glass. I'm going to take a piston. I'm using a sticky piston, but regular piston works. We just got to push this block into place. Like that. Break the piston. Do the same thing with all 4. Locking the glass into place. All right. Now that you have all 4 blocks in place, this is going to be the platform that the piglins actually stand on. We're going to make this bottom layer around their feet out of solid blocks. Because I've noticed that if you use glass, the items as they build up sometimes get pushed into the glass itself and might not get collected. So let's go ahead and wrap this up in solid blocks to make sure we don't lose anything. Now we're going to go ahead and add in our dropper. I'm going to put that in right there, with a solid block next to it, and we can put in glass around for these. Go ahead and add a little bit of a roof. I'll leave a little space to add our piglins. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and add them now. So you got 1, 2. That's all we're going to need for this farm. As far as rounding up piglins, I found it's remarkably easy, as long as you're wearing a piece of gold armor, of course, and you have a few stacks maybe of gold nuggets, depending on how far you want to lead them away. But, yeah, they will follow gold nuggets. You can just leave it like a trail of breadcrumbs going to where you want them to go. Have a couple of trap doors or just nudge them into place. They're pretty easy to deal with, I've found. As long as you don't have any was it like blue torches or blue flames nearby, because they don't like that. And as long as you're wearing gold armor, you should be good to go. All right. Anyway, let's see. We get get rid of this piece of glass. We're going to have a hopper coming into the side of this dropper with a chest on top of it. That'll feed our gold nuggets. Let's go ahead and throw some in there for now. Gold nuggets. I'm saying gold ingots. There we go. Let's throw a couple of stacks in there. And now, if you think it's crazy to be having farms like this with this much gold, you should definitely build Navy Nexus's gold farm. Yeah, you can convert all that gold into all the stuff from this farm pretty easily. Anyway, yeah, so there's endless source of gold through his farm, and then you can just feed it into this farm here and convert all that gold into obsidian and the stuff that you want. All right. Anyway, let's set up the clock that we're going to need to fire this thing. So let's go ahead and put one block down here, another block there. We're going to put a sticky piston facing up off of this block down there. Let's go ahead and grab a redstone block, a couple of repeaters, and some dust. Now let's put a couple of repeaters facing into these blocks here. One there. One there. Go ahead and put a redstone block on the top of that sticky piston. Now let's put another piece of, another solid block there with a piece of redstone dust on top of it. Off the sticky piston back here, we're going to put another solid block, and when we throw down a piece of dust on top of that, that will start everything firing. Now to add the aggro machine, all we need to do is throw a sticky piston off of some of the power around here someplace. So I'm going to go with right here, and then we throw a chest on top of that sticky piston. And that's our whole machine working. Now to add an on-off switch, we're going to add a redstone torch tower coming down. Oh, forgot all that gold was in there. All right, so then we break every other block. Let's see, that should be low enough. Throw down a lever there. Fire it on. Now we can throw down a couple of torches, and that should turn it off. There we go. Nice and quiet. Now we have 2 stacks worth of stuff filtering through the system. It should build up in these chests. We can probably use some of that to start our filter system, because we're going to need, I think, about 45 of each item except for the ender pearls, which will be 12, to set up our filtration system itself. So you could probably run this for a little bit in the beginning, and then go ahead and build this next part. Otherwise, if you don't want to add the filtration system, you are done. All right. To continue on, let's go ahead and add our hoppers. It's going to be a long hopper line. I believe it's, 14 hoppers long. So let's go ahead and throw in some temporary blocks. This is going to make it a little bit easier. Go ahead and throw one block off that chest there with a hopper running into it. And now we want all the other hoppers underneath these chests essentially running towards that one hopper. All right, so now we need a line of 14 hoppers coming off this one here. So let's throw in a line of temporary blocks to make that easier. Oh, see, we forgot to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's go ahead and put another block here. These are all temporary. This is going to help us set up our hoppers. Break this one here. Throw a hopper going into that block there. This is going to be our chest for our overflow and non-stackable items. Well, let's go ahead and just throw that chest on there. Just so you don't forget. Well, you won't forget. I forget. Get rid of these temporary blocks running down here. Oops. What did I break? Oh, broke one of the hoppers. Oh, we lost some of our stuff. Anyway, I don't need it right now. Let's go ahead and point our hopper line into this hopper here on the end. And just make a line of hoppers pointing that way. All right, you should have a line of hoppers. We're all pointing down to this last one, which now points into that chest. We're going to continue adding our hoppers. We're going to add another line of temporary blocks. Let's come down one off this way. And run a line of blocks all the way down. Oops. And now we're going to want hoppers pointing into all of these blocks. Should be 13 total. Go ahead and remove these temporary blocks. And now what we want to do is, let's go ahead and add the rest of our chests. I'm going to have to come down one. Well, let's put a temporary block there. Well, that works too. Go ahead and put down all of our double chests. Okay, now we want hoppers pointing into the backs of all these chests. Just like that. And now if you don't want to have the double chest system like I have over there, you can just go ahead and leave off this next part. But if you want to have the two chest system, what we're going to need to do is put another hopper pointing down, coming off the front of the chests here, going all the way down. And then another row of double chests. Okay, once you're all done, it should look like that. If you go ahead and let's put the filtration system off the back. The actual item filters. So let's come around to the back here. We're going to have to add a row of blocks. Now we're going to add one more row underneath this one here. Another row on the bottom like so. And then one more row, one block up off the back here. All right, when you're done, it should look like this little shapy thing. Let's go ahead and add in our repeaters all along this trench, pointing into the blocks. We can go ahead and seal those all in. Let's go ahead and dust up these 3 rows of solid blocks here. Now we need to go in with our comparators. I'll keep those torches handy. All right, comparators coming off of all these hoppers pointing out this way. All right. Now all we need to do to complete these item sorters is add a row of torches along this row of blocks here. And I'm thinking all of our stuff, where did it go? It's all in here. Well, what we can do now is add the item frames, get all our items properly sorted, labeled, or however you want to do that. Put them right on the hoppers so you can have access to both chests pretty easily, which is nice. And you can actually hit that hopper behind the item frame pretty easily as well. Now to set up these filters, you're going to need, I think it's 45 of each item. I'll show you an example of one here. Let's see, do I have 45 of something out of there? Where did all that stuff go? Oh boy, what did I do with it? Where did it wind up? Here? There we go. We can do gravel. I'll show you gravel real quick. So you throw it on the item frame on the front so you remember what's in there. Go to this second from the top hopper. Add in our gravel like so. It should count down. And then it will lock, I think, when it gets down to 41 in this first slot. Yeah, and then each slot after that will just keep one in it. Now you're going to want to do that for each item that you want to filter. I'm going to go ahead and do that and get back to you. Okay, now that everything's labeled and all of the sorters are full of the items, I think everything should have 41 except the, the ender pearls? All right, this should have, 7 and 4. So it's 11 total in that one. That's the only one that's different. The other one should be the same. Go ahead and finish the bulk storage, overflow, and non-stackable item collection. We're going to throw 3 double chests down the side this way. I do 3 just because non-stackable items, well, they stack up fast. Yeah, there we go. So you throw one more sign on that. I don't know. What sign do you use for bulk storage? I use the cauldron myself. Yeah, there we go. Because nothing says bulk storage like a cauldron. Okay, now we have everything all lined up and set up. We can throw in the disposal system if you want to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go underneath this chest here, and we're going to throw in a line of sticky pistons facing in this way. And now we're going to need a row of, the pistons facing down. Put in a temporary block here now because we don't accidentally drain one of these chests and disposes of it. So we got hoppers pointing straight down again. And when we activate these sticky pistons, they will push them underneath the chest, which will go into the hopper line we're going to have installed over here. So let's go ahead and install that. Have a couple of temporary blocks, and then we're going to have a row of hoppers all pointing that way. Okay, and off the end, let's go ahead and install the disposal system itself. I'm going to use a dropper and a cauldron with some lava in it. But since we're in the nether, you might be able to find a different source of lava. Maybe locally sourced lava instead of imported. See, I get that. There we go. Let's have a dropper facing down. Like this. No, like... There we go. That's what we want. This will be our cauldron. Let's see. Right there, throw some lava in it. Okay, so now we're going to want to add the mechanics for this to work. So let's throw a block off the back here. Go out another 3, and then all the way back over with a block off the side of the dropper here. If I could do that. There we go. Now we're going to need a repeater facing this way and a repeater facing this way. Comparator coming out of that block. Flick the switch so it gets the Rudolph nose. That's some red dust like this. And now when something comes through the system, it should fire it away into the lava below. All right, so that's our garbage system all set up. So now if you want to add the indicator lights for this, the garbage system and the system itself, we can go ahead and, well, you know what? I think you might want to do this anyway, is replace this with a row of slabs. We could have just made that slabs from the beginning. Stuck the hoppers into that. Oh, well. Put slabs over all these hoppers. There we go, looking like that. So now we still have access to the chests on the lower level, and we're not going to fall into through the pistons if they're extended. So we can go ahead and add a row of solid blocks over these pistons and throw a row of levers on top of that. Of course, I threw all of mine in the lava. There we go. And then we're going to add our redstone lamps off the back as indicator lamps, if you want the lamps. And if you want the lamps for the system working, all you have to do is add a row of, let's see, we need some glass on top of these chests. You know what, let's throw in some stairs off the front here to close off that front. All right, now we can throw, let's see, lamps on tops of all those stirrups with comparators running into, oh, no, that's not it. That's not it at all. Let's just do the comparators first. Let's go all the way down with these. Then we can throw a solid block in front of each comparator. And then the redstone lamp in front of each of those blocks. So I think that's pretty much it. If you want to add a workstation off to the side, you know, you can, like I showed you, you can have grindstone, anvil, you know, all that good stuff for maximizing your returns on this farm. Let's go ahead and load it up with some more gold and see it in action. And maybe install some scaffolding to make it easier to use in the future. Yeah, let's go ahead and add a floor off the side here. Cover up that redstone. There we go. Now we can hit the switch if we need to, and let's see. This is where we want to put in, you know, a ladder or scaffolding or some way to access the top part so you can reload your chest. See how much further we gotta go. There we go. Easy access. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. See it in action. Make sure everything works. Oh, getting a whole bunch of gravel. All right, that seems to be good enough for now. That should keep this thing pretty busy for a long time. All right, so there it is. Should be working. If I did something wrong, if you have any problems, let me know. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I think that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. It looks rough. It's not pretty. But I think this is it. Yeah. I sure hope so. Oh, yeah. I know. In case in the future if this mechanic breaks and the aggravation thing doesn't work anymore, you go ahead and just break that off the back. So you break this little system off the side here. So it's just this one. Oh, I broke the piston too. Don't break the piston. There we go. Just remove those stud things off the side there. And then you can add another, 22 piglins. Oh, that's 22 adults. And it should still continue to work at the same, you know, not amazing, you know, twice as fast output, but there should be enough piglins in there now to keep up with the gold at this rate. And this is pretty good. This is without the aggro effect. All right. That should cover it. I hope I don't think of anything else. If you do, let me know. Maybe let me know. Let me know.